the laurel wreath over the victory medal. Victory medal is embedded in the floor. I've got one here you can take a look at later. Okay, this was my dad's. I've got a Roman goddess with her foot on the helmet of a vanquished enemy. She's holding a broken sword. Signifies victory in battle. The sun's coming up behind her. It's the dawning of a new day. And almost as important, in my opinion, as the symbology on the front is what's written on the back. In January 1941, after FDR has been reelected for the third time, he gives a State of the Union. It's before his inauguration in 1941 isn't until March. So he gives a State of the Union, and typical politician, in addition to all the blather about whatever, I mean, we've gone through a very tumultuous 8 years of his presidency to get to this point. He knows he has to be the beacon for democracy to help our allies. And he coins the 4 freedoms: freedom from fear, freedom from want, freedom of speech, and freedom of religion. Now, you're not going to find those 4 freedoms inscribed anywhere here. You've got to visit the FDR Memorial and you'll find it there. Or you can go to New York and you visit 4 Freedoms Park and it's there. I think it's the East River, but don't hold me to that. I'm not sure. One of those rivers in and around New York. Okay? So every soldier, sailor, airman, and Marine is authorized one of these medals. Okay? Now, at the end of the war, when you had enough points, you were eligible to go home. If you had served for a predetermined period of time in combat, and they gave you a ribbon, and they said, we're going to send a letter to your home record. If you want the medal, fill out the sheet and send it back in. Less than half of the 8 million Americans who would qualify for the medal sent the letter back. In their mind, it's nothing but a thing. I'm going to put World War II medals, all the memories in a little box in my brain and put it away and never look at it again. Now, my father, who enlisted in 1941 after he graduated from college and went to OCS, decided, even though he'd been shot 3 times during the course of the war as an infantry soldier, he was going to stay he stayed in the Army for 25 years. So he filled out the form and got a medal. And that's why I have this medal here. Okay? So, any questions about any of that? Okay. Let's go down in the memorial and look at what's here. So we didn't get a chance to look at the quotes that were here the other night. So on the facing walls here, I have FDR's quotes. The one we're looking at from his speech on December 8th, 1941. The one on the opposite side we talked a little about the other night. On the opposite side of the rainbow pool are quotes from Harry Truman. In my opinion, we don't give Harry Truman enough credit. Okay, he is determined as a result of his service in the Army in World War I and what he saw when he gets elected to the Congress from the state of Missouri is we the United States make a mistake after World War I. The typical political turmoil, Republicans take over, and things are a mess in the country. And what Truman vowed was, we're not going to let that happen after World War II. So he's thanking the men and women who served, and there's a quote about thanking our allies, that we couldn't have done this alone. We needed all of the allies. Alex will tell you it's the other way. The allies needed us, and it was really everybody else that should get full credit. Doesn't matter, it's our memorial, so we put Truman's quote up there, and that's how that goes. Okay? So I want to look at a couple bas-reliefs here that we didn't have a chance to look at the other night. So this relief right here is a chaplain holding a memorial service for soldiers who've died. There were 10 lines from FDR's speech that we etched in granite over there. He talked for more than half an hour on December 8th. We didn't have room to include the last line, the get off the stage line, we're going to prevail, so help us God. Once we built the memorial, of course, all the critics come out. One of the loudest criticisms that we got was from the evangelicals. We've ignored God. We left that out intentionally because we're anti-God or some nonsense like that. Okay? So we're going to go to the Remembrance Garden and have our ceremony in a little while. And you'll find there FDR's D-Day prayer. We've got a chaplain right here. So for anybody to criticize us collectively for ignoring God is absolutely ill-founded. Doesn't matter. They still lobbied Congress, got legislation. We have a nice new Remembrance Garden over there with FDR's prayer in a nice stainless steel tablet. Okay? All right. Let's go up here and look at one more bas-relief. Here, this I like this one. This is an amphibious landing, and we don't know, is it Army or Marines? The kit was all the same for the landing, so you can't differentiate anything here. I always say these are Marines. It's probably a lieutenant, first guy off the boat, and he gets shot. Okay, the shelf life for Marine lieutenants was very, very short because their psychology of leadership is you got to absolutely lead from the front. In the Army, it's like you got to pump these guys up with the glory gun, but if I'm the leader, it doesn't matter if I'm in the middle or at the back. Maybe I want to be at the back end and make sure everybody gets off the boat. Okay? But hard to say. One of the things that I talked about the other night was that the ascendancy of women in the world of the United States. This is a prime example of that right here. So here I've got a soldier. He's in uniform. He's saying goodbye to his wife. She's on the tractor. She's the dominant person here. She's in charge. Okay, honey, go do what you have to do, but leave me alone. I got